The readings today all speak to the very heart of how we approach God. Do we come to Him with open hands, acknowledging our need, or with clenched fists, convinced of our own merit? The answer to that question determines whether we leave God's presence justified or empty. In the Gospel of Luke, Jesus gives us one of His most precise parables, contrasting the Pharisee and the tax collector who went up to the temple to pray. The Pharisee, a religious professional, a person who did everything right, prays to God, but his prayer quickly becomes a prayer about himself, and worse, a prayer against the tax collector. "Oh God, I thank you that I am not like the rest of humanity, especially not like this tax collector." He lists his accomplishments, fasting twice a week, paying tithes on everything. His prayer is a form of self-justification, a way of proving to God and to himself that he has earned grace. The tax collector, by contrast, is a social pariah, an outcast whose very profession made him a sinner in the eyes of the law. He doesn't even dare to look toward heaven. He simply beats his breast and cries out, "Oh God, be merciful to me, a sinner." Jesus' conclusion is shocking. "I tell you, the latter went home justified, not the former." The tax collector went home justified because he adopted the only posture that matters before God: radical humility. The Pharisee, full of pride and comparison, stood in God's presence and saw only his own goodness, blocking the very mercy he didn't realize he needed. The first reading from the book of Sirach explains precisely why the tax collector was heard and the Pharisee was not. Sirach tells us that God is a God of justice who knows no favorites. But then it specifies whose prayer God particularly hears. The Lord is a judge who shows no partiality. He hears the prayer of the oppressed, the cry of the poor. To be oppressed or poor in this spiritual sense means to be utterly dependent on God, to recognize your spiritual bankruptcy. The tax collector, standing far off, was spiritually oppressed by the weight of his guilt. He was spiritually poor, knowing he had nothing to offer but his sorrow. God does not wait for us to clean up our act and earn his favor. He listens to the one who is truly low, to the one who cries out from the depths of his need. God exalts the humble heart. Finally, St. Paul, facing his impending death in the second reading, offers a profound reflection that ties this humility to true spiritual accomplishment. He says, "I have fought the good fight, I have finished the race, I have kept the faith." Paul's confidence is not the pride of the Pharisee. It is the humble confidence of a man who knows he has used the grace he was given. He is not boasting in his own strength, but rejoicing that Christ's power was perfected in his weakness. His life was a constant act of surrender, not self-congratulation. Let us stand before God today, not counting our good deeds or comparing our failures to those of others, but with the heartfelt plea of the tax collector, "Oh God, be merciful to me, a sinner." It is that prayer of humble admission that opens the floodgates of God's grace and sends us home justified. Amen.